Hello, hello, hello. Uh, this is your boy Dre, and this is gonna be a relatively quick one. I'm heading out to the bike trail, but some news dropped a little earlier today that I wanted to give my 2 cents on. Roe v. Wade has been overturned. I guess kind of first things first for anybody who doesn't know, the right to an abortion up until this point was established by that court decision. It was not a federal statute. Prior to that, each and every state regulated it as they saw fit. And with this abolition, it will go back to being a states' rights issue. In terms of impacts, I think that this is huge. I know a lot of people look at abortion as if it's something that's just women are frivolously aborting children and frees them of consequences or whatnot. And to some degree, there's some truth there. Anytime there's something that can be used and abused, it will be. But there are also a lot of women who, frankly, from a health perspective, this really screws them over, because in order to get the care that they would need for some things like I think it's called ectopic pregnancy, for example, where the baby lodges, but it's not in the uterus, it's in the fallopian tubes. If it's caught early enough, they can induce it via a pill, but basically it's an abortion. That's the solution. And if they don't, that woman and that baby's gonna die. And as far as the changes and the effects, like from an economic standpoint, I feel this is really gonna hurt poor people the most. Because there are a lot of folks, at least from where I'm from, who probably see it somewhat similar to me, where on a personal level would never do it, would never advocate or try to influence my mate to abort one of my seeds. But that's my personal view. And that being a right that women are able to exercise for whatever reason they choose to exercise it, it doesn't affect me and mine outside of me and mine. And I guess for me personally, the way I've always viewed the issue is that it's really truly a non-issue. If abortion is something that you're philosophically opposed to, don't get one. Don't pressure your partner to get one. That's always how I viewed it. I feel that a lot of folks are really going to be upset by this. And to those people in those ends, because I know there's going to be a lot of questions and a lot of frustration about what can you do or what's next, so to speak. And come on, get over it. And the thing that I would say is this, to those who are frustrated and want to know what they can do. Here's where the great part of being an American comes into play. Contrary to how some people who sit in the White House or in certain government offices may act, people's opinions are not static. And if you put in the work, if you can make the argument, if you can sway folks, you can create the bottom-up pressure to enable change and action. So if this is something that you really, truly, earnestly believe in, and think it's worth fighting for, then by all means, go out, fight for it. I think I'm more so somebody who's in that middle third due to my own personal beliefs. Like my personal beliefs and my policy beliefs on this standpoint are kind of at odds with each other. But even from a medical and health and safety standpoint, I think that this is going to have a really big blowback effect, because what we're going to be doing is sentencing some women really to death in certain situations, in places where there's absolute bans. Because like that situation I mentioned earlier, ectopic pregnancy, and other situations where, you know, say somebody gets violated or whatnot, you really are gonna be sentencing some folks to die that are on the lower economic run. Because if you're wealthy, this doesn't really affect you. You would travel and go and get it somewhere else if that was an option that you wanted to exercise. And that's kind of the issue, because for somebody who lives in the deep south, who may need that procedure in order for them to live, they may not have that money on hand right away to be able to go and easily get that care. I mean, price of tickets for a flight is ridiculous in some places. I just flew to New Jersey a couple weeks ago, and my ticket prices were about almost $700. Looking at a price for a vacation out west, round trip, $700-800, especially with this inflation booming. So people are going to have to go out and really incur those costs on top of the cost of the procedure itself. So I feel like the responsible thing to do, even if you have some type of moral or philosophical objection to it, from a health and safety standpoint, pressure should be applied for certain situations and carve-outs, because this is a health issue. And without that procedure being able to be legally done, and I believe there's 22 states that have laws on the books which either ban it outright or seriously curtail it. You really, I mean, that's what you're signing up for, to do to your own populace and people. And from a philosophical standpoint as well, I'm opposed to this decision, because I feel like government has no place in my bedroom. Frankly, they can get the fuck out. I don't trust government inherently, but, you know, my 2 cents there. I guess that's enough rambling for today. I'll end with this, because I kind of got distracted when I was making this point earlier. If this is something that you really believe in and believe vehemently in, and you want to mobilize that passion or anger that you're feeling, this is America. America is the war of ideas. Go out there, get active, and sway some opinions. Actually, from a polling standpoint, you're probably in a good point, because most Americans believe in that right in some form, although most don't believe in an outright unrestricted form of it. But call your senators, call your state legislatures, because in this case, at this particular moment, your state senator, your state representatives, they're going to be probably more pertinent for a long time. If this is an issue that's important to you, they're going to be the ones to really hound and get after, and whose ass you need to ride. And I'll say this: an election is coming up in 2022. A lot of folks is going to be shucking and jiving for your vote, and you need to make sure that you hold them accountable. One, you need to extract promises. Make them give you something for your vote publicly. And if they make no effort to follow through on those promises, no attempts to make those things that they promise a reality and deliver on them in any tangible way, throw them the fuck out. And that's for the entirety of the political spectrum. If you red, if you blue, if you green, if you purple, if you whatever, we elect our representatives to represent us. And if they ain't doing that, it's time for them to get out. But that's just my 2 cents, though. I hope that you all have a good weekend. Stay safe. Don't do anything dangerous or stupid. And please like, comment, share, subscribe. And actually, please comment on this one. I really want to know where people's heads is at on this one. I think some of the reactions that I've seen has been a little counterintuitive, to be frank, just on some of the panel shows and whatnot. But then again, that's probably just the vocal extremes, because there's been some folks who obviously aren't that financially well-to-do who are really enthusiastically celebrating it as a policy win. And then you have those who are quite wealthy and well-to-do who are really more or less apathetic, which, to my point earlier, it doesn't really affect them. If it's something that they really wanted, they'll just travel for it. Even if it was a ban nationwide, they'll just pick up and go and get it. So, once again, I've turned into the pastor today. Third closing. Thank you all so much for tuning in and listening to me. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Peace. I'm out. Enjoy your weekend.